Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montavilla Sewing Center, and today we're talking about the Viking Opal 650. In this video, I'm going to show you the accessories that come with this machine. To start off with, we have this nice hardcover, which is great for protecting the machine, especially if you're taking it with you traveling. You just put the hardcover on, put it either in your trunk or in the back seat on the floor, and your machine's safe. It has foam bumper pads on the inside to help it fit nicely and securely on your machine. Also, you can lift it up with the handle right here. So it fits on your machine kind of the way a cape fits on your shoulders, same idea. Another neat thing I like about this cover is that over here on the side, it has a cutout so that you can actually leave your machine plugged in, like between uses. Leave it plugged in. You don't have to take the plug out in order to use the cover. Okay, so we're going to take the cover off for now. Set this down to the side. Now we have the foot control. The foot control is got a place in the back where you can store your excess cord when you're not using it. Nice little foot control end. And we're going to put that off to the side. And of course, the power cord comes with the machine too. You've also got your user's guide, which is a very useful guide to tell you how your machine works. I'm also going to do some videos on this machine as well. Now this guide covers 3 different machines, the 690Q, the 670, and the 650. We're talking about the 650 today. Just keep that in mind. You may see something in here that doesn't apply to your machine, but usually that will be noted in the manual. Okay, so let's start out with some of the smaller accessories. Now, there is a foot that already comes on your machine, and that's the A foot. This is an all-purpose foot right there on your machine. Then we have the B foot. The B foot has this channel at the bottom, and that's meant for going over thick stitches where you're putting a lot of thread in your fabric. It helps that flow right on through like that. It's also good if you're doing an applique. You want to have this foot on because it's going to allow that close zigzag to flow right through very nicely. Okay, then we have the overcasting foot. Now this is a really nice foot. You can see that little bar right there. What that does is it gives a little bit of extra slack in the thread so that when you're overcasting the edge of your fabric, it leaves some slack. Now here is a zigzag without that foot on, with just your regular foot, and you can see it kind of scrunches up the edge of your fabric. Here, it makes it nice and flat. So when we go to fold this and press it, you're not going to get a ridge there. So this is a nice foot. Plus, you have the edge of the foot here. You can guide that right along the edge of your fabric, and you know exactly where to put your fabric as you're overcasting. Then we have our zipper foot. Now, sewing zippers is a sewing technique as opposed to a machine usage technique, although your book does address it a little bit. But this is the foot you would use to put on your machine. You can put it on either on the left or the right side, and you can move your needle over to get really close to your zipper feet, or zipper teeth, yes. And this is your blind hem foot. Now, this is a blind hem, as you can see. Can't see any stitches on this side. The blind hem is formed from the back like this. Again, your book is going to talk about this, but basically this toe is a little bit lower, and so when you're forming your blind hem, that toe is going to go right along that line and keep it nice and even, so you just take little stitches in the back that don't show on the front. Blind hem is good for thicker fabrics like denim, twill, or your wool or wool blends. Then we have this little guy here. Now this is a sticker that you can put on the back of any of your other regular feet, and it gives some slickness. So this is good for going over vinyl if you're sewing something that tends to kind of get stuck on the bottom of your presser foot because it's vinyl or leather. This is what you would do. You'd stick that on the bottom of the foot. You can also get a vinyl sewing foot as an extra accessory that is slick on the bottom. This is one of your buttonhole feet. This is a simpler one. It doesn't do as much work for you, but it works with your machine. The nice thing about this one is it has these little guides on the side. So if you're doing your buttonholes horizontally, you can put the edge of your fabric on your chosen line, and it will make it that even distance from the beginning of your buttonhole to the edge of your fabric. This is a nice feature that way. This is the automatic buttonhole foot. Now this plugs in to a place on your machine, and this will measure you type in the length of buttonhole you want, and it will make the right size of buttonhole depending on the measurement that you program into your machine. As the buttonhole's forming, this goes along the edge of your fabric, and it tells the machine how long to make the buttonhole. So this is a nice way to make your buttonholes. Got several buttonholes you can make on this. It's your cleaning brush. So we're going to do a maintenance video and how to keep the lint and stuff out of your machine, how to clear it out. This is the tool that you would use. This is your friend. And this is also part of maintenance. So if you're going to change your needle or take off your needle plate, you would use this here. This your screwdriver. It has a little extra fins on the side to give you a little extra torque. Then we've got our seam ripper. Now this is every seamstress's friend. When you're unpicking stitches, this is what you would use. Also for opening buttonholes, if you're opening your buttonhole, this is the tool that you would use. I like using it with the cover on because it gives me more to hang on to. Plus, when I set it down, it's not going to roll away because it's got these little lugs here. Then when you're done using it, make sure you cover it up. Over here, we have a set of needles. Now, notice this is the Inspira brand. You can use other brands of needles, but the Inspira and Viking or Inspira and FOF, they seem to go together, and you get the best results using the needles that are appropriate for your machine. So get Inspira needles. Your universal needles, they have universal and stretch needles. So the difference between those, the universal needles are meant more for your cotton type fabrics, your fabrics that are woven, be good for denim or quilting cotton. Your stretch needles are good for lycra or something really stretchy, maybe a interlock knit or t-shirt knit. It has to do with how the point, the very sharp tip of the needle is. You want it, in the stretch needles, you want it to go so the yarns go around the tip of the needle. Whereas with the universal, you want it to pierce through, like in denim. So it's a little bit sharper. And then they're color-coded. The stretch needles are yellow right here. Now the numbers down below have to do with the sizes of the needle. 70 means a smaller needle than 90. So the larger the number, the larger the needle. Okay, then we have extra bobbins, and when you use bobbins in this machine, say you need to get more bobbins, you've got all these filled up with your different colors and you need more bobbins, get the same kind. These have a little H that means Husqvarna Viking. That's the kind of bobbin that you want to get if you need to get more bobbins. So don't get off brands or ones that are like taller, thicker, wider, more rounded. Make sure you get these kind of bobbins. You'll have the best results that way. Then we have our spool felts. Now what this is for is if you're using an upright spool pin, and sometimes you want to do with certain kinds of thread, you'd put your spool cap on there as a stand for your thread, and you'd put this like this. What that does is when you stop sewing, it acts like a brake and stops your spool from spinning so you don't have a puddle of thread here. That's the purpose of that. You have two of these because you have two spool pins, and that means you can do twin needle sewing. Kind of like this here. This is an example of twin needle sewing. That would use two needles down here, two spools of thread up here, and then your single bobbin thread down there to do that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to take that off of there for now. That's why you have two spool felts there. We also have spool caps. Now they would be for the different sizes of spools. So medium size would be for your medium size ones, and then of course for your smaller spools you have your small spool cap. Now, if you have a spool of thread that doesn't have end caps on it, what you do is you use the small spool cap, and turn it around so that the little teeth poke right into the tube on the spool like that. That will help. The spool cap's designed to help keep the spool from sliding off of the horizontal spool pin as you're sewing. Okay, so that's your basic accessories that come with your machine. Try them out, see what kind of beautiful sewing you can do with these various accessories, and then explore what other kind of accessories might be helpful for, like free motion quilting. You can do things like that on this machine. It's a great machine for that. I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you have, give us a thumbs up. And if you have comments or questions, you can leave those in the area down below. We have lots of other videos on this machine and on other machines here on our Montavilla YouTube channel. So keep watching. Thanks for watching today. Bye-bye.